When you know that certain people are trying to act smart with you, why do you try to act smart with them? Why don't you be yourself? If you try to ape somebody's nature, do you think you're going to be able to do that? Unnecessarily, you will fall into a trap. And needlessly, you will enter into a labyrinth of confusions which you actually don't deserve to be in. When I talk like this, people say that, ma'am, isn't it necessary to act smart, to be street smart? See, it's necessary to be what you are. It's necessary to be natural, to be normal. It's necessary that you show the people your own actual side rather than wear a mask of smartness and move around. Because if you don't know how to walk on a slippery road wearing heels and you try that, you're going to slip. So don't try to ape the people who are wearing those high heels and walking on the slippery roads. This is just an example, a very banal example to kind of necessitate the importance of being what you are actually in front of others. Okay, I'm an emotional person, but I'm not a fool. I can very well understand that you are trying to make a fool out of me because I am very emotional. But yet, I'll not leave my goodness because there's a difference between you and me. I don't want to be the same as you are. What is my uniqueness? My goodness is my uniqueness. My simplicity is my uniqueness. My emotional nature is my uniqueness. Yes, I get carried away at times. So what? Many people get carried away. When people talk sweetly with them, that doesn't mean I'm credulous or I'm gullible. You have assumed certain things about me. That is your assumption about me, that I'm credulous and I'm gullible. I'm not. I can very well understand what you are trying to make out of me. It's just that I don't want to be nefarious. I don't want to be cunning. I don't want to be malicious. Because I know that each individual on this planet gets the fruit of his karma, and I don't want to be in that karmic cycle. I want to set myself apart from that karmic cycle which engulfs you and me in this birth. I have got you in my life. That's because of my bad karmas that I've got a wily person like you in my life. In the next birth, I don't want to continue the same cycle. If I believe in the continual cycle of birth and death, if I don't believe, rest assured, I don't need to get worried about anything else apart from this birth. And it's okay. I'm here on this planet. I have a wily person like you in my life. I have to endure certain things, and life means you have to endure many things. And one of the things that you have to endure is being in the company of cunning people against your wish. Many a times your boss is like that. What do you do? If you have to work, you have to work. You don't have a choice. There are many people who give long discourses on why don't you leave the job? It's very easy to do it. Give a resignation if that boss is a tyrant. For many people, this doesn't apply. There are many people who don't get jobs. They have to continue with whatever they have. They cannot leave certain situations and they comply. Those people are weak. Just because they comply with a ruthless boss in office, that doesn't mean they are weak. That's our assumption that that person is weak. We look at that person in such a manner, having pity on that person and saying that that person is really weak, and we are feeling that he's in a very pitiable situation. He might be the most dangerous tyrant in his own home. You don't know his actual nature. It's just because he has to be compatible with a certain situation, he's exuding that kind of behavior. A person is different at different places. You cannot stereotype a personality and say that he is the weakest person on this planet just because he is in a situation that forces him to act weak. He might be the strongest person on this planet. You never know. And weak is from your perspective. He might not be weak from anybody else's perspective. It's just that he is stuck in a particular situation. So I would say don't generalize about people. And just because they have to act in a certain way in certain situations, that doesn't mean that they are like that. Human nature is very complex. Human beings are very complex people. You cannot just put a label against the name of a person and say shy, docile, weak, domestic. Just because a woman is engrossed in her domesticity, that doesn't mean she is essentially domestic. She might be actually very career oriented. But when she comes home in her family, she has to be like that with her family members. So be very cautious. This whole process of labeling people is very dangerous and you might fall in a trap. The same thing works for a bad person. When we stereotype a person as bad, understand that situation, that particular realm, that milieu has made him like that. He is fooled into believing himself as superior just because that designation has been conferred upon him. He might otherwise be a very kind person. It's very difficult to control your senses. One falls into trap very easily. And it's not many a times a person's fault as well. I give benefit of doubt to people who are proud, to people who are full of vanity, to people who are ruthless, to people who are rude also. Because that situation might have made him like that or made the person like that. You never know. Otherwise, in some other situation, might be possible that that person is good and might behave in a different manner with you. So this whole idea of understanding people and claiming to understand people, and which we say as our smartness, that we know people very well, we understand people very well, and we know how to execute a certain kind of behavior with people, everything is a fallacy in my point of view. You just have to act according to the situation that comes in front of you. The kind of behavior that the opposite party executes in front of you is situation based most of the times, if not all times. And that is why you cannot expect an individual to behave in a particular way which you have assumed that that person should behave. Every individual's understanding is different and every individual will behave according to that understanding. Your understanding and evaluating a situation may be different from that of another person's understanding and evaluating the situation. So please do not label or stereotype people saying that this person has not acted according to this, so this person is like that. It's not going to work, and that strategy is going to fail. Now, coming back to the whole point of you acting according to people or people's behavior towards you is also not going to work, because when your assumption of the opposite party is absolutely dicey, is based on a moment's observation, do you think it is going to help you in any ways to change your behavior? When an individual who appears to be cunning is not actually cunning, maybe he's a very kind person otherwise. You transforming your behavior and becoming cunning just because that opposite party is behaving in a cunning manner with you is not going to work. It's going to fail, because someday you will come to realize that you tried to manipulate your behavior in a false manner with an individual who maybe was not like that. It was an offshoot of a particular moment which demanded that particular reaction from that particular person. So please do not wear any kind of mask on your face when you come across difficult situation, complex people in lives. Just act according to that particular moment. Live in that moment is what Lord Krishna said, and that's very, very true. Act according to that particular moment. See, according to your discretion, what behavior works or would work in that situation, and then execute that behavior without any preconceived notions, without being judgmental at all. Because the moment you be judgmental, you're doing something unfair to yourself as well as to the opposite party. I would like to repeat here, human nature is complex, and that's why you have to be free from any kind of judgments. So don't try to modify anything in yourself corresponding to the opposite person's behavior. I would like to do this. No, I am what I am, and I'm going to be what I am. And this is what I am. Take it or leave it. You don't have to say that. That should be more than evident in your behavior. Because the moment you say take it or leave it, you're rude. And nobody appreciates rudeness. Everybody appreciates humility in this world. But you can communicate very, very sternly. Not rudely, mind you, sternly. And very candidly, but very politely, that you're not going to change your behavior. You're not going to change your attitude for anybody else. Because you are an individual who is unique in himself. And that uniqueness you would not like to forego for anybody else. So stop doing this, folks, which I often see many people doing. He tried to be smart with me. I also did this. What have you gained after doing that? You have lost your originality completely. This is not what you are. Because he did not extend help, I also did not do that. What are you gaining out of this? You are needlessly sacrificing your own goodness for that particular moment, which is going to be so ephemeral. Some other time you might meet the same person and he might be really good to you. And you might repent as well that why did I execute this behavior which was not required? So be natural, be normal, be what you are.